The war in Gaza looks like it's finally coming to an end. In truly a historic move over the last few days, President Trump has miraculously secured a peace deal between Israel and Hamas. Finally, I hope and pray that this works. Now, I just want to dive in a little bit to understand what has happened over the last several days and what is happening right now this week moving forward. So Trump has this 20-point Gaza peace plan, and you can read it in full. The BBC has it, a bunch of different places has it. But a couple of the top ones are: Gaza will be a de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered more than enough. And then goes on and on through, again, 20 different points about what some of these plans are going to be. But specifically with what's actually happening right now with the deal, that in itself is what I was saying is miraculous. Trump is known for the art of the deal, and this is just such an extraordinary example of that. And so I wanted to show this moment because this has been all over the internet, of the moment that Trump realizes that the deal is going through, and then he has to actually just post about it.
They're smart, but they're not smart enough.
So Rubio's passing him like a letter.
Oh, my microphone's broken. They're smart, but they're not smart enough. They have been covered by these liberal cities for so many years. And that's why we're all working with Treasury, with all these different departments, to find the criminal conspiracy.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm just giving.
This is so historic. They're just in the middle of the press conference. Rubio's like, it doesn't matter. This is way more important, which it is.
Yeah, I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East, and they're going to need me pretty quickly. So I will take a couple of more questions.
I mean, like, it's so nonchalant, but also it's such a big deal. And to really emphasize how historic this is, Maria Machado, she is the woman who just won the Nobel Peace Prize, which people were mad Trump didn't win. I have seen that to win that, it would have been months ago that was in the works, so it couldn't have just suddenly been Trump. Maybe he'll win next year. Literally went out of her way to then dedicate the Nobel Peace Prize to Trump. And this is what she tweeted. She said, "This recognition of the struggle of all Venezuelans is a boost to conclude our task to conquer freedom. We are on the threshold of victory, and today, more than ever, we count on President Trump, the people of the United States, the peoples of Latin America, and the democratic nations of the world as our principal allies to achieve freedom and democracy. I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to President Trump for his decisive support of our cause." So this woman from Venezuela is now dedicating her Peace Prize to Trump. I mean, that's wild.
Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado winning the Nobel Peace Prize for risking her own safety in the name of restoring democracy in Venezuela. But amid this celebrations, she's decided to dedicate the award to President Trump.
So then here is Trump responding to that tweet and that dedication.
It's a great honor to be involved with so many. So the person who actually got the Nobel Prize called me and said, "I'm accepting this in honor of you because you really deserved it." That a very nice thing to do. I didn't say then give it to me though. I think she might have. She was very nice, and I've been helping her along the way. They need a lot of help in Venezuela.
Maria, welcome, congratulations, and tell our viewers why you decided to dedicate this award to President Donald Trump.
Thank you very much, Rachel, and to all of you for what you have done for Venezuela. And they decided to dedicate it to President Trump because he deserves it. Because not only has he been involved in only a few months in solving 8 wars, but his actions have been decisive to have Venezuela now at a threshold of freedom.
It's so cool to see this because there's so many other ways that Trump is helping, frankly, globally right now that we're not even necessarily paying attention to. One of which I would say is Venezuela. I didn't realize the efforts and work that he was putting into helping there. But that just shows that he is beloved in a lot of these countries around the world that we don't even know about. And that so many people, especially on the left, want to ignore. Which everyone online was pointing out. One person said, "The haters will continue to hate him. I think he's a champion and he has stopped so much catastrophe in this world." Someone else said, "LOL, thought this wasn't true. I'm impressed. She's just saying what the world thinks. Listen up, Democrats." There doesn't have to be party lines here. It can just be a victory. It can be a good thing. Now, hopefully this peace deal holds. Obviously, we're going to see what happens. But again, this should be cause for celebration. Across party lines. But no, I was seeing things like this over on TikTok.
Apparently the lady that won the Nobel Peace Prize, the Latina lady that people have been hyping up in every single comment section.
Let me pause her. Does she know who that lady is? Does she know what that lady is doing? Does she know what's happening in Venezuela and what that woman did to risk her life? Is there any context there? Because that's important for our generation to understand and appreciate the gravity of that. Oh, that lady should. Guess what? Maybe there's something there. Maybe there's a reason why she is dedicating this to Trump. Maybe because Trump is helpful. But no, it's this response.
Yeah, she dedicated it to Donald Trump.
This is so unserious. No, you're unserious. This is so unserious. Because what's serious is the things happening in Israel, in Gaza, in Venezuela. Act serious. It's just this kind of reaction. It's like, we need to understand more what's happening before we're commenting like this. And it's just annoying to me because, again, like, go read what's happening in other countries.
Apparently, she's like a pro-Zionist. She's like a fucking terrible person, actually. Everyone just assumed that she was Reagan.
So that was unserious, but that was a reaction, like many online, from people being so mad. How dare she dedicate any of this to Trump? I mean, please. Someone said she should get it revoked just for that. I'm genuinely speechless in the worst way possible. And I'm tired. I'm tired of that kind of reaction. I mean, across the border now, we're not seeing leftists celebrate Trump with this. They're barely even celebrating the peace deal, but they're certainly not saying anything about Trump. It is so frustrating watching Trump get all this hate because he is a historic figure and we're watching history be made in real time. Speaking of historical figures that have just gotten so much hate now recently, Christopher Columbus, remember him? This Columbus Day, Jeremy's Razors is celebrating the holiday with a new deal. Right now, you can get a women's razor plus a full year supply of blades for just $74.99. So if you want to discover a whole new world that is free from all of the woke garbage that you see all over the internet, you can go to jeremysrazors.com today. That's jeremysrazors.com. Pick up a razor, celebrate all the goodness of history, and let's go back to talking about history being made right now. Okay, so New York Times said, Democrats praise Israel-Gaza peace deal, but not Trump for forging it. Most Democrats left President Trump conspicuously unmentioned as they cheered a potential end to the conflict, reflecting the tricky politics around the war and their party's deep hostility to Mr. Trump. Yes. Even when it's a historic peace deal, they cannot take one day to say, hey, maybe this is just good for everyone. In that article, they highlighted Bernie Sanders and he said, I don't want to give him credit right now. Okay, will you? Will you ever? If this does work in the long run, will Bernie come out and say, you know what? I'm going to give Trump a moment. Because I would have so much respect for him if he did. We will see. Right now, though, I'm seeing things like this. So this is Barack Obama. He tweeted a very long thing. After 2 years of unimaginable loss and suffering for Israeli families and the people of Gaza, we should all be encouraged and relieved that there is an end to the conflict within sight, that those hostages still being held will be reunited with families, that the vital aid can start reaching those inside Gaza whose lives have been shattered. More than that, though, it now falls on Israelis and Palestinians, with the support of the U.S. and the entire world community, to begin the hard task of rebuilding Gaza and to commit to a process that, by recognizing the common humanity and basic rights of both peoples, can achieve a lasting peace. Don Jr., though, took that tweet and then said, I'll finish it for you. Thank you, Donald Trump. I mean, they cannot add that part of, again, this is a historic move. I actually had the honor of listening to Katie McFarland speak this weekend. I was at a conference that she was at, and she served in many administrations from Reagan to Trump. And during Trump's first term, she served as the National Deputy Security Advisor. And she shared so much insight into how foreign conflicts work, how influential Trump has been throughout many, many years during his first term and his second term, why relationships that he made week one of his first term, especially with certain countries in the Middle East, are now playing a huge role now, all these years later, and how he's playing this like 4D chess in a sense. And it is so interesting to learn because, again, it's things that you don't see in the headlines, you don't see in a quick little news hit, but are so important to how this stuff works long term. What I found most interesting about what she was speaking about was that certain world leaders over in the Middle East, they were not yet leaders, they were kind of like the young 30-somethings up and coming, would soon take over. He gave them a chance in their communications that built a relationship that is now, because now 10 years later they are in charge, has been very impactful. And so I find that so interesting. But again, we don't know that. We don't get to learn all of that. But there is a long game. There is relationship building that is so important that he is doing so well. I did see one lib, though, giving credit to Trump. Let's see if he did so begrudgingly or not.
How much credit does President Trump deserve for this deal?
I think he should get a lot of credit.
Wow.
This was his deal. He worked this out. He sent Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, over to negotiate this, and it's so far has gone well. hopefully the hostages get released here. Might not be within 24 hours, but certainly I think by Monday.
Listen to that, though. I mean, that's incredible. Respect for, again, saying it. That's when I gain respect for these people, where it's not just so blind rage against a certain political party that they're unwilling to give credit when credit is due. But naturally, a lot of the other key Democrats, especially the ones who were very vocal throughout this war, have now gone silent.
Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez and Rashida Tlaib, both people who said they were calling for ceasefire, wanting peace, wanting an end to the war, crickets. I'm calling them charlatans of peace, because I can't believe there hasn't been one peep, one statement out of them yet.
That's actually wild. Have they still not? Let's see. I just went on AOC's to see if she has said anything since this was released, but nothing. Like, at least acknowledge it at this point, especially given the fact that people on both sides are currently celebrating and the hostages are being returned. As of this morning, all of the living Israeli hostages have been returned. There have been so many beautiful videos of families reuniting, and yet crickets. And when I say crickets, I mean, we're even seeing videos like this. These are Palestinians celebrating Trump's peace deal in Gaza. Everyone's obviously glad it's done. And then, of course, you have Israelis in Israel celebrating. So much so that I believe last night or this morning, Trump was on his way over to Israel, and they created this whole sign on the beach thanking Trump. Now, here is a video of Trump speaking about the deal.
This is a very special event. They had 500,000 people yesterday and today in Israel, and also the Muslim and Arab countries are all cheering. Everybody's cheering at one time. That's never happened before. Usually if you have one cheering, the other isn't. The other is the opposite. This is the first time everybody is amazed and they're thrilled, and it's an honor to be involved. And we're going to have an amazing time, and it's going to be something that's never happened before.
He always says that phrase, oh, it's never happened before. This actually truly feels like that. And it's cool. I just saw this video from Kai Trump earlier this morning, and she had posted this video of her and Trump. They were in a golf cart together, and she asked him, is there anything else that you want to do, in your life? Like, what else is important to you to do? And this is what he said to that.
Is there a dream that you're still trying to chase, or have you reached all your dreams?
You're asking questions like you're a television comp. I thought I was just going to come out and play around the golf with you. And you're asking questions like I'm on television. Yeah, no, look, you become president. That's a dream, right?
Yeah.
I
don't think
you can. You dream now you want to be a great president.
Yeah.
Now you're president. Now your dream is to be a great president.
I think you're doing a pretty good job.
And like him or not, this is a sign of greatness. And again, hearing the nuance even from Katie McFarland about just how crazy that this could have happened should be appreciated. Now, what happens next? What happens from here? Obviously, as I just said, part of the peace deal was that the hostages had to be returned. As of this morning, all of the living ones are coming home, and they are supposed to now return all of those who have passed away as well. Also, another part of this process and what's happening right now is that an expected 250 Palestinian prisoners that were serving life sentences in Israeli jails are being returned, as well as over 1,700 detainees from Gaza. And so far, it looks like all of these things are moving in the right direction. So as what comes next right now, obviously there has been an immediate ceasefire. There's humanitarian aid and actions that are now taking place. Part of the phase 2 of all of this is the proposed strategy that includes the destruction of Hamas's offensive weaponry. So that's also going to be coming. They're going to try to demilitarize them. And then phase 3 is governance and reconstruction. So after 2 horrific years, this is where we're at today. There is celebrations happening around the world. Hopefully, I am praying that this stays, that this holds, and that there will now be progress happening over there and peace finally made. As an American, I am just so grateful to be under the leadership of President Trump. Thank you so much for watching this episode of The Comment Section. For more content like this, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe to this channel. And for other content, you can follow me on X and my personal Instagram, as well as our Comment Section Instagram. I'll see you guys in the comments.